Hey, and welcome to part 2 of this two-part series called How to Crack the Law Entrance Exams in India. I do hope you caught part 1, but just to give you a quick peep into what we covered in part 1. We gave you strategies of how to get into the top 3 national law schools and other top schools in India. We also spoke about the CLAT at length, the 5 sections. We gave examples of types of questions and study strategies. So do watch that episode if you didn't catch it, and stay tuned for this episode, which is solely devoted to preparation of the law entrance exams, where we talk about scheduling your study hours, how many hours to devote to each section, and how many practice tests to take. We also talk about some of the other law entrance exams like LSAT and AILET, with a detailed discussion on the logical reasoning section of LSAT. And don't miss the end, where we bring you the top strategies of successful students year on year.
So now if let's say once we establish that this is the thing that we need to do,
right.
I think the next thing is probably to...
How long and when do they need to start preparing for all this? It sounds like quite a bit to me.
Let me, for example, remove GK aside.
Okay.
Because GK is something that has to come as a habit every day rather than prepping for it.
Right.
I think parents can do a great role here when it comes to prepping for GK, because they are the ones who knows what is going around.
Right.
Anyways, but let's keep
the general knowledge
aside.
Yes.
Let me, for example, start with maths.
Okay.
It's about 10 chapters that one has to study.
Okay.
To get the concept back in place, about 3 hours per chapter. Okay. Should be by and large enough to build the concept. Okay. That's about 30 hours. The 20 chapters in logical reasoning. So that takes about 3 hours each, about 60 hours to understand.
Okay.
And the legal, about 5 areas, you have taught criminal law, so on and so forth. It's about 10 hours each, that's about 50. Okay. So you have about 50s and 30, about 80 plus 60, 140. Plus add another 40 hours for English. So it's about 180 hours.
Okay. Okay.
Now if someone is studying for 1 hour every day, that's about 6 months.
Right.
And then you add about 3 more months of practice. So it's about 8 to 9 months.
Okay.
Now the problem with 12th is the boards will hit in March.
Okay. And when is this? When is the CLAT exam?
CLAT happens in the month of May.
Okay.
So a lot of people decide that I will start everything after the board.
March.
This year, for example, the CBSE exam got over on the 20th. Because of the election that happened in UP. So all the CBSE kids
have lost out almost a month.
Almost a month, and the exam is just a month away.
Okay.
So let's say that if you want to give a little more time, so there is this board exam. Let's say January, February, March, you have to spend a lot of time in boards.
Right.
The only thing that probably you want to do during those time is to look for general knowledge, because general knowledge would be crucial those months. So you have about a couple of months, 1.5 months here, and then you have to take about 6 months that side.
Right.
Which probably hits May.
Yes.
Okay, so if let's for example, if you are in 12th, getting into 12th standard now,
then this is the time to start preparing.
So kind of you can then manage your 12th and be systematic.
So 1 hour a day for about 6 months, and then keep the balance month or 2 that you get for practice.
And then this is minus the GK.
Right, of course, which you're saying is a
continuous process. And you just have to convert one of your hobbies into reading as a hobby. Yes. So otherwise then there'll be, so it's about 1 hour per day. Let's say about 10 hours per week. Obviously they depending upon the time that they have, they can add.
Okay.
So the starting point for all the students looking at this exam is to figure out where they are today without any preparation.
Right.
So what makes complete sense would be to take a test, so kind of diagnosis, and then you will understand what the test is like.
Right.
And every time ensure that you keep taking these tests to evaluate your progress.
Okay.
To give the corrective side, and towards the end, take as many tests as possible.
Okay. And how long is this test? 200 questions?
2 hours is a test. I missed that. It's a 2-hour test. So the speed comes also into play. You have to make those decisions quickly. Yeah. So there are also some people that I have seen, many in fact, who start looking at prepping from 11th.
That should be a good idea.
So it's kind of, I'll
slowly pace myself.
But in which case, the 12th will be crucial.
Right.
I believe that keeping it towards 1 month for this test
won't work.
I think I can go ahead and make that claim. That will be very difficult.
Okay, another thing I want to ask you is that can they study on their own, or would you recommend that they actually take help, they join a learning center for this?
So to answer the question, of course they can. It's like, does an Indian cricket team needs a coach? They need a coach or something. Okay. So it's like, let me address that question like this. I believe there are three kinds of students who would be interested in that question.
Right.
One is someone who is in a place where there is no learning center.
Right.
Second is already so hectic with all the other tuitions that they don't want to do. And the third is kind of saying that I think I can manage this. I don't need any help.
Yes.
For all three of them, one thing that I'll definitely recommend is to enroll with training partner and pick up at least a correspondence program.
Take the material
Take
from
the material.
them.
I think that there is no point sitting and figuring out material from there. You can also evaluate courses which are online courses. For them.
Okay. So there's a course you're saying where you can just enroll and pick up the material. And that's it. There's another course which is a full-fledged online course.
Online course, which is the classes happens through webinar. So it's like happens on a Sunday.
Okay.
That's something. And the third option is to
classroom learning, face-to-face. Okay.
I think always good to get hold of a mentor.
Yes.
It can be a senior somewhere. It can be someone like me, for example. If they eventually want to study on their own, they can very well study on their own. There are a lot of people who do that as well and do really well. Especially the ones who have taken the CLAT once and.
Okay, so there's a lot of children who've taken it once and then they come back.
Okay. So they'll say that I've already done a classroom program once, they can study. It's quite possible.
Okay.
The only thing that is required is self-discipline.
Okay.
And be a little systematic. Make a rough schedule and plan it and be systematic.
Yeah, the way you mentioned the number of hours you need for each unit, sit down, chalk it out. And so after having done this 180 hours, how much of practice should they do?
As many as they can.
Okay.
And I believe that practice would be about 30 tests is good.
Okay.
So so they can spread this practice across. Practice test is like a mirror. It's just a reflection of who you are. If I want to look good, I just can't keep looking at the mirror every time. What is important is what you do in between those visits.
Right.
So likewise, I said, if you take a test, you have to sit and figure out what areas, what is your problem, and then work on this problem and take another test.
Right.
So the whole process would be about 2 hours for taking the test, another couple of hours for analysis. Let's say each area you'll have to pick up some areas for another 2 hours. It's about 6 hours for one test.
The whole thing.
So one test. So if let's say 3 days you can do one test.
Okay.
So 30 would mean that it'll take care about for 90 days.
Yes. Okay, and you're saying between the board exams and that you can't do all the tests.
All the tests. And towards the end, when kind of it reduces because mistake reduces working.
Yes. So tell me one more thing. You produced a lot of toppers in this exam over a period of few years. So tell us, what have you observed are the common traits in these toppers?
So what I've seen from the toppers, I think they do 3 things. One is they slog.
They slog, okay. And when you say slog, let's define slog. How many hours, how many months?
I'm just saying these 180 hours. Okay, so it's like so easy for me to say 1 hour per day.
Yes.
Personally in our lives, how many things we decide to take up and
for 6 months, we do it religiously every day.
With your ChetChat, you're still hanging in there. That is the first learning of success, that you are doing irrespective of whatever happens, and you continue to do it. And then a lot of things happens. Your mock test is going down. People are telling me, they just don't give up.
Okay.
The second thing they do is they do a lot of practice tests and learn from practice tests. Okay, they take a lot of these mock tests and learn from it. And they are not the one who say that I'll keep mock tests towards them. They are like, let me hit. They are looking at this mock test not as a tool that tells them where they are, but actually as a training tool.
Yeah, as a diagnostic for what next do I need to do.
Tool.
Yes.
So if you take one test today, figure out what it is, work on those areas, take another test, figure out the problem, work on this area, just keep on doing this, it should be enough. The third thing that they do is that they schedule pretty well. So they are the ones, I think they stick to that particular schedule.
Okay.
Another thing that they do is they kind of reduce their
Extracurricular
which is largely mobile
Okay.
activity. So in those 2 times, the 2 hours or 3 hours that I'm giving myself, I'm going to not look at
No distractions,
no
you're
distractions.
saying. Right. That is the hardest thing.
That is the most difficult thing. So, and also is that when they put the make the schedule, they put the things that I love in the schedule first. I want to do hockey, and let me do this, and then fit in this.
Yes, yes.
It's not like they are intelligent or they've got high IQ.
Right.
So they are the ones who decide I have to do something.
Right.
And plans it and executes and takes a considerable number of tests
regularly.
Regular tests, and keep on evaluating, self-evaluation every time. So that's what I think they typically.
So I think what you're saying is success is a habit. Just keep doing what you need to do every day, and you will get there.
I think a lot of people do a lot of hard work, but then they end up not doing well. It's like, I can give an example, which is climbing the ladder is one thing, but ensuring that the ladder is leaning against the right wall is the most important thing.
So Gejo, you've already told us that we don't need necessarily to do mathematics in 11th and 12th.
Correct.
But is there any other subject that we need to do, or can we just take about any subject? Anything at all?
Anything.
Okay, great. Now moving on from CLAT, and you've given us a great set of information about CLAT, and I hope they benefit from it. But there are a set of exams apart from CLAT as well. So could you talk us through some of them?
Sure, I think that will be the easiest question because if you look at AILET for Delhi, if you look at Symbiosis, if you look at Maharashtra CET for the exam here, the areas are same.
As CLAT, exactly the same.
Areas are more or less the same. It's just that, for example, the AILET has got 150 questions to be done in 90 minutes.
Okay.
With no negative marking.
Okay.
It's a paper-based test, but CLAT is online driven.
Right.
So there will be that minor changes with respect to the test pattern, which can be handled by practicing those pattern tests.
Okay.
But you don't have to do anything extra
in the preparation.
Yeah,
okay.
There is just that one exam which is very different from these, which is the LSAT India.
Right, which is also the international exam.
Which is also the international exam if somebody wants to go abroad and study. The pattern for LSAT abroad and LSAT India are the same.
Okay.
Very different from CLAT and other exams. In India, the Jindal Law University takes the LSAT exam.
Yes.
And based on your performance LSAT, they also give scholarships.
Okay.
So LSAT exam has got 3 areas.
Okay.
Which is administered in 4 sections. We talk about the 3 areas. One is reading comprehension. Passages given and answers. So about on an average, one section is about 25 questions.
Okay.
Sometimes 26, 24.
Okay.
So that is one area. The second area is what they call logical reasoning. And all the logical reasoning questions is, I think in GMAT or other exams, the nomenclature is critical reasoning.
Right.
But in LSAT they call it logical reasoning. There you are given a passage in a short paragraph.
Okay.
And then you are asked questions like, okay, fine, tell me the assumptions in this passage.
Okay.
What is the flaw in this passage?
Okay,
I'm giving you 5 options. Which of the following will strengthen the argument given in this passage? And that comes in 2 sections.
Okay.
23, 25 ones and 23, 25.
Yes.
And one more section is what they call logical games. These are analytical reasoning questions. For example, there is one set of data given. It could be you want to arrange people in some particular order. Conditions are given and there are sub-questions. So if you look at LSAT as a test, no knowledge is tested whatsoever.
Right.
So it's a test where you have to sit and understand certain basics and go on practicing.
Right.
And in the CLAT you just have to manage one passage.
Okay.
In LSAT you have to manage multiple passages.
Longer and probably more complex.
Not really complex, but the subject makes it difficult. They can come from any sort of fields and area.
Okay.
And typically what happens in reading comprehension, it's about comprehending what you just read.
Right.
And the challenge would be not necessarily English. The challenge would be the type of passages, type of questions. So it requires a slightly more different focus on certain areas.
Right. A different skill, a different level of practice.
I say that all the areas are there in the CLAT, but just let's say if I look at the number of questions that gets asked in LSAT and how many you find in CLAT, out of the 210, or maybe another 5, 15, about 17, about 20 max in the 200 will be these 3. So when somebody is prepping for CLAT alone,
Right.
that student is tend to look at these areas less. So depend upon your priority.
Right.
How serious are you in looking at these exams?
Yes.
If you want to look at getting high score and want to get the kind of scholarships that are available,
Right.
then you want to prep really hard. And if you want looking at someone who's taking LSAT and for applying some universities abroad as a requirement, then you have to slog.
Yeah. But typically you'll take that post-graduation, right?
Yes. So
Okay, but there you're saying the score expectations, because the whole world is wanting those limited seats at a Harvard Law School or a Yale Law School, you're saying the competition will be very
so for example,
intense.
in the US, from what I understand, is that they have the Juris Doctor, which is a 3-year program, and then their LLM.
Right.
The LLM, not all universities does not require LSAT.
Right.
I think I saw a video of
We did the Columbia Law School. Yes,
and
they didn't need the
so they don't
LSAT.
require.
No.
They require an LSAT for the 3-year
JD. Yes.
If you want to go to the UK, and then you want to pick up some of the top schools in UK, LLB program, they have a test known as LNAT.
LNAT. Okay.
LNAT, which is the Law National Aptitude Test.
Okay.
That has got two areas.
Okay.
Reading comprehension, 12 questions, 12 set of passages, and one is to write an essay.
Oh, okay.
Or they'll be given 6 topics and you write.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the logical reasoning demon has been taken
So
away.
I think that exam clearly mentions that please don't prepare and come and write this exam and go. So that's...
So just to understand, so when we're looking at CLAT, there's mathematics which is not there anywhere else.
Correct.
There's general knowledge which is not there anywhere else.
Anywhere else in the sense?
In LSAT
correct.
or in the
So
LNAT. I'm comparing the larger...
CLAT-like paper. So
Yes. So
then
CLAT and CLAT-like paper, sorry.
okay.
LSAT, and we're looking at LNAT. So you've got general current affairs here, which is not there, mathematics, and you've got the legal terminologies here, which is not there anywhere else. But here you've got, in LSAT, a big component of logical reasoning, which sometimes sort of gets people...
a lot of people tend to believe that LSAT India as an exam is easier than CLAT because math is not there.
Yes, there is a notion,
As a test, this is tough.
But tell me, the LSAT in the US, as we discussed, is for the post-graduation, and you said it's a similar test that we administer in India.
Correct.
So the score expectations when you take it in India are slightly
So if you look at in India, what happens is the number of schools that accept the LSAT score are less. And if you look at, let's say, the top 20 schools in this country, probably you'll find one. Test is made difficult not because of the test. Test is made difficult because of the competition.
The cohort, yes.
So if at some point in time you decide you want to do LSAT, you have to look at how well they study. You have to get into a forum. I'm saying there is a lot of online forum where these kind of discussion happen.
Right.
You get into those forums and see what level of prep they're doing.
Okay.
It'll be overwhelming in about 1 month.
Okay.
But nevertheless, the fundamentals of the examination is logic. It can be trained. It is trainable skill set.
Okay. So thank you so much. I think we've had this fantastic discussion, which I'm very sure is going to be super helpful for people watching the show. And thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
And if you have any questions, concerns, you want to write in and ask us to feature any more information about law entrance exams, do comment in the sections below. If you want any specific information from Career Launcher, do write in as well, and press that little subscribe button at the bottom, and happy watching.